Hashtag Trending is sponsored by CDW Canada Tech Talks. If you're passionate about technology and innovation, this is the podcast for you. Join host KJ Burke as he and industry experts dive into the latest trends, insights, and strategies shaping the tech landscape in Canada. From hybrid cloud to AI adoption, CDW Canada Tech Talks covers it all. Don't miss out. Visit cdw.ca/tech talks to tune in today. There's a link in the show notes. Major publishers sue Perplexity AI for scraping without paying. Facebook and Instagram launched celebrity scam ad crackdowns. T-Mobile and AT&T claim locked phones are good for users, and we wish Excel a happy belated 40th birthday. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Major U.S. news publishers Dow Jones & Company and NYP Holdings have filed a lawsuit against AI search engine startup Perplexity for scraping their content without compensation. The lawsuit, filed by the News Corporation on behalf of the Wall Street Journal and the New York Post, alleges 2 counts of copyright infringement and 1 of false designation of origin and trademark dilution. The plaintiffs accuse Perplexity of taking the hard work of their journalists to feed the startup's AI training models, presenting repurposed content as a direct substitute for the original source. News Corp's CEO Robert Thomson stated, "The perplexing Perplexity has willfully copied copious amounts of copyrighted materials without compensation and shamelessly presents repurposed material as a direct substitute for the original source." Perplexity proudly states that users can skip the links, and apparently Perplexity wants to skip the check. The lawsuit comes after News Corp made an agreement with OpenAI for similar content use earlier this year, reportedly worth over $250 million US. Unlike Perplexity, OpenAI agreed to compensate for access to intellectual property used in training models. News Corp has warned that this could be the first of many lawsuits against AI developers who misuse copyrighted content. The legal complaint also highlights that Perplexity does not adequately cite its sources, depriving publishers of direct revenue and often providing incorrect information. The lawsuit notes that Perplexity's AI answer engine can misattribute information, falsely claiming content came from a reputable publisher. One cited example involved Perplexity adding inaccurate paragraphs to an article summary from the New York Post, misleading users about the actual content. The potential damages are significant, with News Corp seeking $150,000 US for every proven infringement, which could potentially bankrupt the startup. Perplexity has not yet commented on the lawsuit. Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, is introducing facial recognition technology to crack down on scammers using celebrities in fraudulent advertisements. Notable figures such as Elon Musk and personal finance expert Martin Lewis have been frequent victims of these scams, which typically promote dubious investment schemes and cryptocurrencies. Martin Lewis has previously shared his frustration about the misuse of his likeness, stating on BBC's Radio 4 that he receives countless reports of scams using his name and face every day, leaving him feeling sick. Meta currently uses an AI-based ad review system to detect fake celebrity endorsements. However, the company is now enhancing it with facial recognition technology. The system will compare flagged ad images with celebrities' profile pictures on Facebook or Instagram. If a match is confirmed and the ad is identified as a scam, it will be automatically removed. Meta has reported that early testings of the system have shown promising results, and the company plans to expand its use by sending in-app notifications to a larger group of public figures impacted by such scams, known as celibate. The problem of celebrity scams is not new to Meta. It became so significant that Martin Lewis took legal action against Facebook in the 2010s, but dropped the case when the company agreed to introduce a button allowing users to report scam ads. Facebook also pledged over £3 million British to Citizens Advice as part of the settlement. Since then, however, scams have become increasingly complex, often involving deep fake technology to make the endorsements appear even more convincing. Meta has faced growing pressure to address these scams, particularly as they increasingly use deepfake technology to create realistic endorsements by celebrities. On Sunday, Martin Lewis called on the UK government to give more power to the regulator to tackle scam ads after a fake interview with Chancellor Rachel Reeves was used to steal people's bank details. Meta acknowledged that scammers are relentless and continuously evolve their tactics to try to evade detection, and added, "We hope that by sharing our approach, we can help inform our industry's defenses against online scammers." Meta has also announced that facial recognition technology will be used to help users regain access to locked social media accounts. Currently, unlocking an Instagram or Facebook account requires uploading official identification documents, but Meta is testing a new system involving video selfies and facial recognition to speed up the process. The system will compare the user's video selfie with their profile picture to verify their identity. While the widespread use of facial recognition is controversial due to privacy, accuracy, and bias concerns, Meta insists that the video selfies will be encrypted and securely stored with facial data deleted after the verification is complete. The feature will initially not be available in regions where regulatory permission has not been obtained, including the UK and the EU. T-Mobile and AT&T have urged U.S. regulators to drop a proposed rule that would require unlocking of phones 60 days after activation, claiming that locked phones enable carriers to provide cheaper handsets to consumers. In an October 17th filing with the Federal Communications Commission, T-Mobile argued if the Commission mandates a uniform unlocking policy, it is consumers, not providers, who stand to lose the most. The proposed rule, supported by consumer advocacy groups, aims to give users more choice and reduce their costs. T-Mobile has been criticized for locking phones for up to a year, preventing users from using their phones on rival networks. The carrier claims that a 60-day unlocking rule would force it to reduce the lineup of subsidized handsets, ultimately affecting consumers. AT&T also lodged similar complaints, saying the proposed rules would make handsets less affordable, particularly for low-income consumers. The carriers argue that unlocking phones too soon could lead to increased handset fraud and would undermine subsidies that make devices affordable. Verizon, which faces unlocking rules due to requirements imposed on certain spectrum licenses, currently unlocks phones after 60 days and supports a uniform unlocking policy for all carriers. Consumer advocacy groups argue that locked phones limit competition and reduce consumer freedom, urging the FCC to impose stricter unlocking rules industry-wide to benefit consumers and increase market competition. The FCC is considering whether to impose the rule, particularly in situations where carriers provide discounted phones. The agency has pointed out that locked phones can create barriers for low-income consumers and limit the secondary market for used devices. And although it's belated, we wish a happy birthday to Excel, which is 40 years old this year as of the end of September. Those of us who grew up through VisiCalc and Excel will realize how the spreadsheet transformed how we did our work and the major impact it had on all of us. Until the introduction of the spreadsheet, we worked largely on centralized computers with programs and reports that we were given. Spreadsheets were a revolution, democratizing computing at work, for better or for worse. And although it had competitors, Excel became the standard based on its user interface, ease of use for new users, and in the early days, the ability to make reports in many formats. In a world where we aren't that far from simply asking AI to analyze and present our data, we wonder whether the spreadsheet will survive, and if it does, in what form. But whatever, it's had a remarkable run so far. So no matter what date format you use, let's wish Excel a happy 40th. And that's our show for today. Thanks to our sponsors, CDW and KJ Burke's CDW Canada Tech Talks. Check it out if you get the chance. You can find it like us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts, or you can check it out at cdw.ca/Tech Talks. You can reach me at editorial@technewsday.ca, and thank you to the people who've written in. It's always great to hear from you. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.